is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
This is only a test.
DJs and MC. This DJ, he gets down.
Listen to this jockey's introduction to
DJs and a mic with your host, DJ Mike.
Is that a timetable?
And DJ JP.
Well, get on it. It's your time.
Give me the mic.
Okay, that was short and sweet.
Yeah, it was.
Welcome to another episode of Two DJs and a Mic, featuring myself, DJ Mike, and the infamous Hat Master, DJ JP. He's sporting a new hat by Ralph Lauren.
I can't fool with you today. But thank you for that eloquent introduction.
Yes,
my man.
yes. You know, we're honored to have the infamous New York raised Larry G in the place. Stupid.
Infamous. Oh my! I feel like I'm wanted in other countries or something.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Not yet, but you will be after this one.
Yes.
Yeah. We dropping bombs.
Oh shucks! I'm ready.
And it's not in here. What is it? Not in Hiroshima. We dropping bombs right here in the States.
Yeah, right here in the States, baby, right here.
Yeah, we ain't got to go to Hiroshima.
No, man, but thank you for coming on the show, man.
Absolutely.
We hope you feel the same out this home.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know, we're going to jump right in there. So, first and foremost, when did you start DJing and why? How did you get bit by that spider called DJ?
I started in 1976. That's my mantra. EST 1976. That's when I began.
Hold on, say that again. 19 when?
76 when I began.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, I'd call you W. Du Bois.
Yeah, I go back, way back. I think I was telling the story right before we came on air that it was a neighbor of mine. His name was Michael Young, and he went by DJ Mr. Melody.
Okay.
And he used to throw parties at his house. And I guess we were around 14. He was probably a little, like he was like maybe 15, a year older or so. But he would throw parties, and his parties actually had girls, you know.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that was a very important item.
Straight out the garage.
Yeah.
Was it in the garage?
It was in his basement. He'd
Or
go
the
around the
base?
back of his house, and he had these steps that would
250
lead
feet.
down to the basement, you know, in the East Coast, Queens, New York. And
Queens.
he had these giant speakers, 2 stacks on each side of the room, the basement.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
straight.
Oh yeah, I mean he had
concert.
He had stuff like I couldn't believe he had piezo's on a wood thing, like in the center, strung up in the middle, and the sound was incredible. And it was all about playing some disco sounds, you know, boogie oogie oogie. I remember Donna hearing those,
Dancing.
and I remember, you know, a couple of other guys from the neighborhood were part of his crew, and they were spinning music. They had a Clubman mixer, I remember, and 2 turntables, and they were just going back and forth.
Wow.
And I was mesmerized. I was like, man, like it just hit me, and I was like, I want in. And that's
when you got bit, 1976.
Yeah.
He sounded like he was gangbang.
I want in.
Yeah.
Or they had work.
Yeah, back in the day, I wanted in.
That's cool. Yeah, we all got bit somewhere. So did you start learning with him, or?
I did. I don't know exactly what took place, but I know I wanted in and I was in. So after that, you know, my name was on a flyer. I was making flyers, and you know,
Larry,
the box flyers.
Yeah. I still have them flyers to this day.
Really?
Yes, I do. I have a collection of flyers, and I used to collect all the flyers from.
Dude, you need to scan them digitally.
Yes.
You know, and just
so and I
do
know
it back down memory lane.
Well,
what music was playing when that flyer was made?
And I still got all those records.
Oh,
I
I'm
still
pretty
have
sure
my
you do.
records from 1976 that I collected from that time forward. I think
So I have a question. I don't think this in the list.
Wow.
So what was the first record you bought? Do you remember?
Okay, so I remember it was the first record I bought. Was given to me.
No.
No,
The first
the
record
one you purchased.
You mowed a yard or did
I'm trying to get out of
something
that question because
No. It must have been Vanity
just
Six.
think, You
or
can't
something, was it?
remember exactly. Just I know mine. Everybody should know that.
Yeah, I know mine.
We're gonna help you refresh your memory tonight.
So back then it was disco breaks or disco music songs. So I think like 12-inch was like I don't know. Boogie Nights may have came around a little bit later on, but they were like those kind of grooves back then. You know, I mean, stuff that was on Epic and disco.
So let me ask you this, and I know it's kind of going off base. So since it was disco, did you partake in the pants?
No. So the interesting thing was I never went to a disco until, like Studio 54, of course, I heard about later on, but we were playing disco music and I had never been to a disco. I mean, I was like 14 years old at that time.
Wow.
So yeah. Which well, go ahead.
Man, it's so funny to hear when everybody started. How young
Oh,
they
the
were.
stories are,
And when the bug bit you and when you jumped in and God, man, 76.
Wait a minute. You know what? Let me go back to that.
Okay, go back.
So I think even before albums and stuff, I was actually going to the local record shops and I was buying 45s. So it was like Jungle Boogie. It's probably one of my first records
Jungle
I bought.
Boogie.
45, and I remember that because that was right. That was I remember a song
That's
called.
one of the first groups I went to see too. In the game.
Something. Gentlemen, something was the bump. It was the ladies bump or something.
Oh wow!
There was a lot of bump songs, and
I'm feeling young today, man.
And I still have those 45s.
You hear me?
Got the big fat woman too.
I'm feeling young.
I ain't gonna bump no more with the big fat woman.
That came later on.
Yeah. All right, keep the fire burning. Keep the fire burning.
So I'll let you have this one, Jeff.
Okay. How was it learning how to DJ in New York? How was it? Was it competitive? Was it, was there, I mean, I know of course there's competition, but did somebody just try to help you and guide you along the way, or how was your experience when you were learning?
So for me, once I had an interest and I learned a little bit of, taking records, going back and forth, and then I acquired my own 2 turntables. At that time, it was Mitch Mac turntables. But I had a mixer, and lots of wires, like a mad scientist.
What was your first mixer?
My first mix?
Mixer. Yes.
A neighbor of mine who was part of our crew, name was Fred Gibbons. We had mic mixers. I remember it was like some kind of Radio Shack in this little gray box with knobs, and we were going back and forth like this on the front, loaded in the front. And I remember us.
Y'all was doing the filtering back then.
Yeah, we were doing that, and then later on I graduated, and we had.
What's that you always say about DJing? Who would? What you always say about when you're doing something?
I'm saying the very art in itself was created by doing something that you weren't supposed to do.
We weren't supposed.
Nobody told you to go get 2 turntables and go get a microphone mixer.
Right. Yeah.
And split them up and run your music through that.
Man, just think about the resourcefulness, the things we use to
creativity.
Creativity. I'm sure there was somebody who DJ'd out of one of those things, the drop in with the open up, you open up the top. I'm sure somebody DJ'd in one of those before. And you open it up at the TV in the front and the
the component set. Component set.
Right. Yeah. I never saw that. I mean, I saw a lot of stuff.
Now I'm dating myself, so I'm a hush.
Yeah, I've scratched on one of those.
I bet you have.
Oh, I did. Belt driving off.
Do you remember the little 45 thing that was
spindle?
You remember the little 45 thing that you put it would drop? The little black one.
That's what a robot came in at.
That's good.
Oh my goodness.
That's good.
Yes, that's a good one. Wow. So all right, keep the fire burning.
So where did the name Larry G come from? Every name has a story.
Right. So that came a little bit later on. I went through a series of names.
Okay, please share.
Master G.
I was like Nasty N.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
man.
I was
Okay.
kind of like I didn't realize I was.
Yeah,
doing
well,
it.
keep
I'm
going.
glad we changed that
Let's
one.
keep on moving,
Keep going.
you know.
Like
then,
we want nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, I was any in.
Man,
like,
you was
what is
you was
it, man?
obsessed
we
with the
was-
end one.
well, and then of course
Was you in boy too?
you know what? I got jokes. So, I mean, in the early days, but I was getting tapes because my dad had a business in the Bronx.
Uh-huh.
So I get these tapes, and I think my first mixtape was Prince Whip a Whip, and Louie Lou was the DJ on the turntables.
Prince
And I remember this, and so from there I realized that guys' names were Louie Lou and Billy B and Mikey C, and so I was like Larry G.
Oh, okay. So then after you figured you would go with Larry
like
G.
once it became a
the
thing.
G
once
is
you
your middle name or something?
G is my middle name.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Disclose. We're not telling you.
No,
it's okay.
I'm
just
not
kidding.
going
I'm
any
just kidding.
deeper.
No,
We're
I'm
not
just-
going.
I'm-
We're
I'm
good. I
kidding.
just wanted to know. I figured it was
No,
something
it's
because I
good.
know it's
It's good.
Larry
It's all
G,
good.
something like that. So,
It's my
okay,
my
cool.
middle initial. Yeah.
And how long have you been Larry G?
I've been Larry G since probably like 78.
Wow. So
Wow.
that's
I
good.
think,
2 years to sign on the
yeah,
name.
I
It took
kinda-
me
yeah.
about 12, 14 years to really sign on sign on one.
Yeah, I've kept it.
I gotta ask you a question. This is off script.
Off the script.
Uh-oh.
Are you familiar with the term "do boy"?
Here you go. Here you go. Have you ever heard anybody say that, do boy?
No.
Okay.
I haven't.
All right.
I'm not hip to
All
it.
right. Good.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Okay. Now you.
No, I'm gonna tell you what it is. So
It's a
okay.
Southern slave term
It
for
wasn't even.
DJ.
I wasn't even down south when I was using it.
Okay, well,
I
tell
was
me.
in
Tell
Texas.
me.
I was in
I'm
Wichita
gonna let
Falls.
him figure that.
Okay,
Go
so what we had was when you go to the
Mm.
club and people tote your records in and help you tote your stuff in, we call them do boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I called them.
So would
Okay.
you be okay with somebody calling you "do boy"?
But I didn't call them that. I
Oh,
just
and that's what even makes it more insulting.
So so back in the day for us, at that time, it was cruise.
I know it.
Right. So everyone
Hey,
everybody carried, someone
just
carried a
saying.
couple of crates of records, somebody carried a turntable, somebody carried a mixer.
That name
I've
is
never
so-
heard of do boy.
But you
That-
know, maybe why we
Cruise
call them.
is empowering.
You know,
Right,
maybe why we
yes.
call
It's
them.
empowering.
You know why we
Yes.
call them do boys? Because at the end of the night, they were nowhere to be found. They were never
That
around.
don't even make sense. I don't even see how to do
I need
applies.
the
to that.
correlation. Where's the correlation?
Yeah, I don't
I
see
get
it.
it. I
So
get
they
it.
doing you at the end because
Yeah,
now you got
okay,
told everything
okay,
out by
Oh,
yourself.
okay.
So,
I
So-
get
so,
it.
I've
so
been
you
done.
become the real do boy.
I'm the do boy now.
I-
Because
I
they,
get that.
they all doing. They done got in the club free with you. Now they gone.
Yeah, I get that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Back to the script.
All right.
Stop.
That's all.
Terrible. Terrible. Stop. I'm gonna get me a shirt though. Mike was once a do boy.
Never.
Terrible. God,
Like
he's
said,
terrible.
Next question on me, brother.
Okay. What is it about DJing that keeps you coming back to the well? And I'm gonna go ahead and tie in the other question
Yeah,
that we
go
were
ahead.
talking about in the pre-show.
Oh, go
And
ahead.
when you were about to get out, what keeps you going and what brought you back?
It's just something about the art of playing music and DJing that it sparks this excitement in me. Like when especially when I'm in it, like I'm in this, it's almost like I'm in a
Trans.
or euphoria. I'm just once I'm when you start, sometimes you just kind of like
It's almost
But
like
once
you
you-
hit a shot of ecstasy. You just.
and then you just kind of I work my way into this thing where I'm in a zone.
Oh yeah.
And when you're in the zone, I can't even explain the feeling of that. And that's what
Man.
does it for me. And I
That's-
still to
that's
this
a
day
great
have
feeling.
that. I've never lost that.
Mm.
I never really went away. I've always I've played throughout my
You
whole
couldn't get away,
career.
could you?
No.
So,
get away.
but when you told me earlier that you were thinking about
I was-
fading away or
I was
giving it
thinking
up.
about it,
So
yeah.
what happened then? What drew you back then? The same thing that drew you in the beginning, or did somebody you play
See
something or somebody asked you
something.
to do something? And
So this is where I met DJ Dane. And so I remember because I was doing some ministry work at the time and really delving into ministry, working with the homeless. And at the church we were going to was one community church. I remember my wife and I were leaving an event and there was a DJ in the atrium. I'm like, there's a DJ in the lobby of the church playing music?
Yeah.
I came outside, I was like,
Been there,
it's
done
different,
that.
you know? And then he just had this incredible sound. And I was like, wow, you know, I was impressed. And I'm the kind of person that I'm always doing my homework. I always have to meet the DJ wherever I go. Maybe wherever I go, I always walk up on a DJ, let them know I'm a DJ, I like to meet them, get their card, you know.
Mhm.
And for me, it's turned into a ministry today, you know, but that's something I always did. And I think at that point, when I saw him and I heard him, and I was just like, it kind of sparked that.
Yeah, you got
that
the
thing,
fire
like
back.
I can't stop DJing, you know. It's just too much of my blood,
Mm.
you know. I think that was that moment.
So can I go off script again?
No,
So
please
Mike, have
do.
you ever had that where you just felt like you didn't want to do
Yeah,
it?
I
no more?
was there. I was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I was there. I was like, man, I seemed like I was going in another direction. And something, I can't remember exactly what happened. But there was this realization that, man, this is something that has been a part of your life for almost your entire existence.
Yeah.
You know, and before it was a part of your life, music, you've always gravitated to.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've always found peace in that. I was talking with, someone that works with us at the restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and they were listening to some rock, and I was telling them that I listen to classic rock, and it's calming for me. And they was like, "Really?"
Okay.
I'm like, "But it is. It's
Yeah.
it's like listening to a slow jam
Uh-huh.
when I hear classic rock. You know, the guitar riffs. It just
Because you're
calms me
digging
down.
deeper into the song than
Oh,
actually the lyrics.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, it's
yeah.
so much more than that.
Mhm.
I'm riding the actual wave, the track. I'm on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
can relate to that. And it,
Mhm.
but once I did come to that realization, I've never second guessed that, because this is the gift that continues to give to me
Oh,
and allows me to give to others.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nicely put. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me?
What-
Well, mine is different
Mhm.
because being in the military for 20 years, I had it taken away from me at times. So
Mhm.
I was always hungry to get back. So like if I'm somewhere and I can't DJ for a year, or I'm in the desert, even though, you got to, maybe they flew me up to DJ for the troops in Iraq or something like that. I was still trying, but I was always, okay, I got to get back to it. Or I was stationed somewhere where I couldn't, and but no, I've always been hungry. I've never wanted to quit. I love it too much. Even when I do stop working or doing it, I'm still gonna do like and had a
Yeah.
boom boom room
Oh, yeah.
like
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll always be trying to play something, put two beats together, and then we have stems, and you could just we could just go forever.
know.
I'm a hush,
So-
man. It's just so
so-
much you could do now.
So there was a nursery rhyme back in the days in New
Mm.
York.
Mhm.
It's like, when I die, bury me deep. You put 2 turntables by my feet.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. See,
I think I
and that's-
remember that
and I- and
song.
and that was one of those nursery rhymes that still I live by. Like,
Prevalent to this
it's
day.
like I'm not trying to be morbid, but when I die, I'm
Bury your
you know,
turntables with you.
Yeah.
What kind
Yeah.
you got? You got some pioneers? I mean, some
I got
techniques.
some stanzas I'm working with now. I got
Okay.
some 1200s that are being rejuvenated.
Oh yeah, you
Brought
told me
back to
about
life.
that. Okay,
Brought
I
back
was
to
just
life.
checking. We'll put the stands in with you, and we'll take the. We'll donate the.
That he spoke like a true do boy.
We'll donate the techniques to science.
Call your house.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
The institution
You
of
know?
my
yeah,
house.
man.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's my will, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
We can-
yes,
we can
yes.
This
have-
mix
we
is
can
going
buy
out to
one.
Larry
man.
G. Hey, we know you there, but we
All
got
right.
you.
Let's keep the choir burning. All right, y'all. Boy.
So,
So go ahead, Mike.
is there a DJ that you looked up to and you wanted to emulate outside of the guy that you saw at the house? Was
Mhm.
there a DJ that you were like, man, I want to, I need to learn that?
So yes, I mean there were lots of guys, especially in New York. I mean, I remember a guy that was, I think he was spinning with he was spinning for Starsky.
Oh, Love Bug. Oh yeah.
And his name was Johnny G. And I never
Mm.
forgot. I think he was a Puerto Rican
One of
dude.
my
Had this long
favorite
hair.
songs.
I mean, he was just wearing some regular clothes, but
Yeah.
he was working. He was just working the turntables. I
And
went
was
to-
Starsky actually a DJ, like he said in the
yes,
lyrics?
yeah. Matter of fact, yeah, I've got tapes with Starsky DJing back in the day, cassette
Wow.
tapes.
Can you imagine how it was to grow up in New York with
Oh, I
all
would
of
have
it
been crazy,
just right
dude.
there, man?
I would have been
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
I probably
Yeah.
would have boosted me some turntables back
Yeah.
then.
and I was all over the place, man. I mean, you know,
No, but I'm just saying,
Yeah,
man, you
like-
have a love for something and everybody's, or you could have gotten a crew. See, that's different because everybody probably brought something to the crew. Okay, I'll buy records. You got the
Yeah,
turntables. You
right.
got
It was like
man.
that, yeah. But yeah, I mean, DJ Divine from Infinity Machine.
Oh,
I've seen some guys. I mean, I've always done my homework. I've always been out there. I mean, I used to go to the garage, Paris Garage, and I used to listen to Larry Levan, you know, because my cousin was all into like that kind of music. So I'd go hang out with him and go to the Village. But yeah, there were like the number of just, you know, certain people that just had that je ne sais quoi. They just had that thing. You know? So I've always been a connoisseur of DJs. And then listening to Marley Marl on the radio.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh,
back
yeah.
when Mr. Magic had his show. Marley
And
Marl
Red
was
Alert
just-
still DJing every weekend on
Oh
there.
yeah, right.
Man,
Those
that-
guys are still,
Yeah,
still
that's
out there.
I mean,
you
I
know?
heard him a couple of times. That was some. I always like
Yeah.
that name just got me.
Oh, yeah.
DJ Red Alert.
Red
man.
Alert.
I'm like, man, that is
Yeah.
just one of the best names of all time, man.
Yeah. I got to shout out to my boy Mad Scientist. Mad listen to Red Alert every week.
Oh, really? Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ
Yeah.
Red. So he's still on BLS, or what is he on now?
I don't know
Oh,
what station he
yes, I
is,
know,
but
I know
he's
he
still
was Kiss when I was there. I still have those cassette tapes. Shoot.
Wow,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
those are gems.
Yes. Yeah.
You need
Mhm.
to digitize.
That's-
I
those.
put a few of them on my Mixcloud.
You know,
but I've got a lot of them just.
You got to
Yeah.
digitize.
you know, he might
Yeah.
be one of the
so nothing won't happen to him.
Yeah. I know.
Red
You need to
Alert might be
digitize.
more of a legend than we all think of too, because
Oh,
he
he
was
is.
definitely one of the first ones. I
He-
think
I'm
he's
just
one of the
saying, he
first
was
New
out
York
there.
DJs I ever heard of,
Okay.
besides the ones with the group. But
Right.
I,
I'm taking it back
DJ
to,
Red
like,
Alert.
PTJ Jones. Like there was two guys I went to high school with that were part of his crew.
Mm-hmm.
And they battled. I mean, people don't even realize this guy is so underrated. Like, you know, when you think about cool DJ Herc, you know, I mean, think about, you know, Herc and those guys. And but there was PTJ Jones, and there was, you know, DJ Flowers, and man, I mean, there was guys in my neighborhood I thought were bomb guys. There was a group called TRD, the Real Deal, back in the day. Solo Davey D. I
that
actually,
was one of my boys,
I
David
actually-
DMX.
I actually battled him in one of the park, Cambridge Park, back in Queens.
Davey
That was one of
D.
the crews that we used to battle. And I used to battle against him, Davey DMX.
So when y'all
Yeah.
say battle, what was that? Just putting tracks together, or what was it? Cutting and
So
scratching, or-
basically, like, you know, it was just you guys would go, like you have your crew, and then you guys would get on the
Do
ones
whatever.
and twos and play two records back and forth, break beats, and your guys would be rapping.
Oh, okay.
And
So
then
it was
we
more
go
of the
through
rapping.
a series
Yeah.
where you did that for maybe, you know, 15, 20 minutes, and then that you would shut down, and then they would go.
Mhm.
And it was just to see who the crowd liked the most.
Yeah,
you know?
a lot of crowd
Yeah. It's
participation.
just going back up. Sometimes it'd be 3, 4 DJs in a park, set up
Yeah.
in a corner, and everybody would just kind of go back and forth.
Man, we
you
need to
know.
go back to
What
that.
I would have
was
loved
battling.
to been a
That was
part of
battling.
that.
Yes, man.
yeah,
just
yeah. And I experienced a lot
a
of that.
fly on
yeah.
the wall.
Yeah.
Just man,
Mhm.
just hip hop in the beginning,
Yeah.
man. I bet it was.
Yeah.
So how long have you been gone from New York, or when did you leave New York?
I left New York in 83, and I went to DC. I went to Howard University, and
Ooh, I feel
Go. How did you feel about
go
that?
go.
What do you
It
feel
was
about
different.
Trouble Funk?
well, okay. So I was always like, you know, go music, because I knew that was the music of the town,
Uh-huh.
and then
So you
I
was
wasn't even
fighting.
realizing that some of the break beats were
Yeah.
pump me up, you know.
Yeah, you was fighting.
You know, it was like, you know, until I did a show, Frank Ski and I opened up for Chuck Brown and the Soul Searchers.
Mm.
And then you were
And
done.
that was my first experience at a go-go. And
Mm.
and it was such a cool, like everybody was cool, like everybody was dancing,
Busting loose.
and everybody was just kind of in a flow, and it was like jazzy and cool. And I was like, this is the life.
Bum, bum,
It was
bum,
like,
bum,
I just had I just fell in love with go-go, and I was like, this is a whole nother, like, people that don't know, they don't know because they haven't experienced it. You know?
Man, and this is a crazy part, like listening to Trouble Funk. They have so many breaks in their songs when it comes to, the drummer. I'm talking about it's breaks out.
Yes.
Breaks, it's out.
Yeah. Right.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite
Yeah.
groups of all
Yeah.
time.
There's a 12-inch I have by Trouble Funk, and it's just like, just
Yeah.
bongos
Is it the
and
11
breaks.
minute?
Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
different little groups of. I mean, you can take this part right here, cut it up a little bit, then go to the next
They are
part.
definitely what introduced me
Man.
to go-go, because
Oh,
in
yeah.
a club I used to listen to in New Orleans.
Fourth gear.
And man, they used to play Drop the Bomb, man.
Oh,
Drop the
yes.
bomb,
I was dropping
man,
it.
for an hour.
Right.
They would play
Yeah.
number
Don't
Drop
touch
the
that
bomb.
stereo.
Don't touch that.
Right.
Arcade Funk, Searching.
But it's funny how they all
Yes.
tie together, because you think there's what do they call it down there? Whatever, the music for New Orleans. That's so sad. I know, but they have their music, and
Bounce.
don't touch that stereo. Not bounce, but I'm talking about, what do they call it? Like second line.
Yeah,
So
second
they
line.
turned a whole bunch of go-go into second line songs, and it's a different kind of beat,
Yeah.
but
That's
still
a
the same song. Don't
transformation.
touch that stereo.
Yeah.
And but they
Crowd
still got a little go-go
participation
in it, but
response.
yeah, man. So
Yeah. Yeah. It was
yeah.
definitely.
Wow.
and my first taste of go-go was I went to DC to play basketball, and we went to the club, and I'm thinking hip hop. No, sir. They went go-go, and I was like, what is this?
What year was that?
86. Yeah.
See, we had and rest in peace. We had a DJ here locally, U-Shay. And this brother here, man, he dropped so many different styles.
Mhm.
I mean, saying he made it cool to mix rock and roll with R&B.
Wow.
Okay.
So he was dropping so many different. I'm talking about he was introduced. So that was my first time hearing go.
Oh, because he
Okay.
dropped.
He
some
was
go-go.
dropping.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
it's not like they
yeah.
played. The person
no,
that
he
really
was
put
drop-
go-go on the map was, of course, DJ Kool, because that stuff he did took off everywhere. Otherwise, I don't know if go-go would ever really took off. Like, I mean, it was big
But
on the
I'm
East
just saying
Coast, but
it was in the 80s. It was big. I'm just saying he crossed it over into the hip hop.
yeah, and I don't really
Yes.
know why, because it was still go-go.
But I'm just saying, I know it was, but I'm
Well,
just
he
saying
took-
he
right.
made it
yeah, he made.
cool to cross.
Maybe it
over
was the
to-
people he
to
collaborated
hip-hop.
with
So,
too.
so Kool used to come to my apartment.
Oh,
when
okay.
when I lived there.
See, there you go
I used
again.
to play at a club called.
Name
I
dropping.
used to
Go
play
ahead.
a club called Ibex,
I bet.
and the main DJ there was his name was Maniac McLeod,
Mm,
and then
Man, you
DJ
got
Kool.
a great memory to be about 70.
yeah.
You know what? Wow.
Wow. You know
I
what?
look good for 70. I'm
No,
actually,
but you have a
I'm
great
actually
memory, man, to
62.
be able to
I'll
recall
be
all the
62 in
names.
March. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, and Kool was like another DJ at the club there.
Okay.
He wasn't
Yeah,
the
DJ
top
Kool.
DJ, but
Yeah,
he was,
just
you know,
one.
this was before he was DJ Kool, but people knew him
Ah.
in DC, and he also used to DJ at a place called The Room, was down by the Greyhound bus station.
Mm,
And so Kool knew about us because, Frank and I, because we were on the radio and we would play at hip hop. We really literally were the guys who broke hip hop in DC. Not saying hip hop wasn't played in DC, but we were the first ones that kind of had a show that patterned ourselves like Mr. Magic and Marley Marl. And so I remember playing at Kool's his club that he was over at The Room. It was a DJ battle, 26 DJs.
Good God.
wow.
And I walked out of there with the first place trophy.
Look at you.
Salute.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah, exactly. And to this day, Kool and I are friends. He does my DJ drop. He does DJ drops for me. Just
Okay.
got love for DJ
Everybody
Kool.
on the show is
You know.
always bringing something to the show.
Oh,
Man, you should
always.
have never told us that. should you?
Always.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
already he's
Yeah.
offlining.
Yeah.
I'm offline. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, this
I can go way offline.
can
Yeah.
you
But
get Kool to
that's
get one
good.
for me?
No, man, DJ Kool. No, and I actually booked him to do a show in Wichita Falls in Oklahoma. So I actually met Kool, DJ 20, and his manager back in
Wow.
95, somewhere in there.
He was here a few years ago, and I was
yeah.
supposed to go see him,
Mhm.
and he invited me down, but I couldn't make it. I just couldn't make it. It was
Yeah,
too tight
yeah.
of time.
Hey, well,
yeah.
Dallas don't allow you to make a
Yeah,
lot of stuff
yeah,
sometimes because
yeah.
it's so spread out. If they ain't close, it's tough. But
Yeah.
you have to plan ahead. But that's cool, man. So all right, keep the fire burning, Mike.
So how do you feel about the state of the DJ industry?
I am.
Don't give us the political answer either.
I'm frustrated at times.
Okay, why?
Okay,
Because everybody and their mama's a DJ now. It's like the thing to be a DJ. All the years I was grinding out, here you go. Now I'm gonna get off of my high horse.
No, hey, go.
You know,
No, go.
Hey,
man.
go.
That's what we do.
Everybody and their mama, and then when I see little kids and this no, I'm gonna do the Kevin Hart, but no. I don't want to see that because
Why?
Because for me it's like people who have been
Sacred.
grinding, who know music, DJ, like anybody, like you were saying earlier, anybody can run out and get themselves. I'm gonna do
A
JP's
controller and a
Everybody
laptop.
can get them a $200 controller and just play some music,
Yes.
So
yes.
Damn, was that cool?
I do impersonations also.
Yeah.
My number
Wow.
is so. Anyway, I'm just
Wow.
I'm annoyed.
Mm.
It's
And let me ask you this: you say that you're annoyed.
Annoyed.
What
That's a
is
big
it
word. I know.
about
It's-
that just gets under your skin? Is it the fact that you don't feel like they're taking the serious approach of really being homed in on learning the craft, or what is it for you?
I mean, and so that's a great question. The thing is, I don't know what they really know. I see people, of course, they're on social media and they're one note because they're doing something that people like and they have lots of likes. And I can't hate on anybody. I know I'm sounding like a hater. I don't want to hate on
No,
anybody.
no,
But it's
no,
like,
no, no,
but-
no.
but
You're
to call
talking
yourself
your
a
truth.
DJ, you're talking to a guy who would rock a party 7-8 hours straight when you kept people dancing. Like, I'm not used to playing music and people ain't dancing or not dancing. I mean, and so I wonder sometimes because I don't know. Do these people people dancing? Do they really know music? Do they know music? Are they digging, or is it just the flavor of the month, or it's just a popularity thing? And so I think for me, it's because I embrace the craft.
Okay.
Where I'm digging for music. Like I'm trying to be like back in the day. You covered up your labels because you didn't want other DJs to see what you were playing, because that's what made you different from everybody else.
Mm.
Even though everybody in New York wanted to play Mardi Gras and they wanted to play Nautilus, Bob James, and cut those breaks up. Yeah, but then you find something that no one else had, and you throw that in there while you're playing. That's where people go, ooh, and that's, to this day, I still have it in me. When I play something, I want people to go, wow, what's that?
So I think this is a great question.
Okay.
So when you do that, that's not coming from a sense of hate or jealousy or envy.
I don't
That's
want it to be,
coming.
no.
It's coming from, I'm trying to express my originality, and I don't want to give you the ability to, bite.
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 Yeah.
Exactly.
I got you.
Mike, you put it, I couldn't express it any better than that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's different, and I can really appreciate that because we have this E word that really just hovers over our industry. It's called egos. And I'm gonna put the IE, inflated egos, that hovers over our industry. And sometimes you can get wrapped up into that bucket and people thinking, oh, that dude ego is just too big. When it's not that, you're protecting your originality.
Thank you. Because my family says it's my ego.
Okay.
My wife always says he's out of control. When it comes to this DJing thing, Larry, he's got a big ego. And I concur to a certain degree, but I think it's just because I'm so passionate
Well,
of the
there's
craft.
a such thing as having a healthy ego.
Yeah.
And there's a such thing as having an ego that's out of
Unhealthy,
control.
yeah.
Your ego's job is to protect. So, that's the base job of your
Yes,
ego, to
yes.
protect. When it becomes overprotective and it turns into something else, you go from ego to just being a jerk.
Yeah.
It's just something different.
Right. You know what?
We're in a
I
different
don't
time.
mean to, but that was like therapy for me. Like, thank you for that. Like, I'm
Well,
on
I mean,
podcast,
but we're in a different
man,
time. Trust me, we all
I
been there.
needed that.
But think about this though. I think a lot of it is too how we were treated when we were in the industry as young bucks, and how people treated us and didn't tell us stuff or didn't give us any breaks. And now we feel like everybody gets a break because of social media likes or just doing one thing, and they really don't have any talent, haven't learned how to DJ. Yeah, you might be able to cut and scratch and you make this one little mix or you do something, but you
But see
haven't dug in.
Yeah, and that
yeah,
that forced you to be original and to figure it out and find yourself. So by people doing certain things, you couldn't. Yeah, I'm gonna go copy off, Larry G, and I ain't got to put in the work.
yeah,
But you're forcing them to look within themselves and say, "Ah, man, it ain't no easy way. I got to do it myself."
yeah.
Right. And that's what I've always implored people to do. You got to find your own space in this thing.
Mhm.
You have to find your own space.
And it's enough space
You
for
know,
everybody.
It is. It is. Oh, wow. That's great. That's how I feel. I mean, that's 24/7, you know.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, and I know you kind of touched on this, but for you and your words, why is it important to be creative as a DJ? Why do you feel like it's important?
Again, I'm an artist also.
Yeah.
I'm a fine artist, draw, paint. I grew up doing those. So music and art for me. So again, I think just being a creative person, whatever I do, I'm going to bring creativity to it. So if I'm playing music, if I'm mixing, I got to be creative. And then I've listened to so many people through the years. I don't want to be like them, but I want to take those. I think we all at some point take things from different people.
That's what I'm
you
saying.
know,
So what is so wrong with people, like today?
Okay, so let me go back because and I meant to say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I feel like I'm having to prove myself today as someone who's been doing this for so long. And I'm like, did you look at my resume? Did you go listen to my Mixcloud and see?
But you're not Instagram or Facebook famous, so why should I do that?
And I think that's where the gap comes. I mean, I have a person I call my family member. He's an old school rapper. And he told me, Larry, no one cares. No one cares if a DJ presses the sync button and he makes a mix versus you who was sitting there and just beat counting and doing this thing off of just your experience. No one cares,
Michael.
And I felt like,
oh yeah,
I felt like I was actually falling for what he was saying at one point. I'm like, Larry, snap out of it. No, that's not true. Don't believe what he's saying because just because it's digital and doesn't, I mean,
you know what he said? It's equivalent to saying that no one cares if you practice to be a better running back. When in all honesty, it's the practice that makes that running back good in the game. So,
absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
no one cares when no one knows. You don't know that you should care.
Right.
But when they're exposed to the real thing, you tell me why they don't go back to the counterfeit.
Wow. Yeah.
I'll let that dance around.
Wow.
That was good.
Wow.
Boy, I need to come on just for therapy.
Well, I mean,
on this podcast. Mike is breaking it down.
Instead of two DJs, one Mike, she calls the dime drop. I mean, we do drop nuggets from time to time. I ain't gonna, but
that was good.
You just have to think out, I don't know. It's almost like we have to reinvent ourselves sometimes and look at stuff from a different perspective. Yeah. Still hold on to what drives you.
Yes.
But try to get a full spectrum.
We have to educate.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we're in a time to where it's becoming criminal to sit back and not say something.
Yes.
And educate.
Yes.
So there's a lot of information out there, but there are so many of us that have morphed into something else that's centered around just, hey, I'm gonna take care of me.
Yeah.
Instead of, putting the information out there. One of the things that we pride ourselves on, and Jeff, and these are Jeff's words, we're gonna leave it better than what we found.
Yeah.
So we have to educate, and it's not about insulting. No, we're not being disrespectful or insulting you. But at the same time, we're not going to tiptoe around
Right.
The truth.
your emotions or the truth because you don't want to be responsible or accountable for what you're not doing.
Yes.
Because for me, in the DJ industry, this is a multi-million-dollar industry.
Yes.
And there is a lot of every day somebody is hiring a DJ to do an event.
Yes.
I don't know how many in a day,
Mhm.
but every day somebody's hiring someone to DJ.
I got hired today.
So you're telling me that that person hiring you is not good enough to make you want to go learn to be better than what you actually are. Not what you told them,
Right. Right. For what you are. Right.
but what you are.
right.
So that money ain't good enough for you to go practice, but it's good enough for you to go spend it.
Yeah.
The industry is deep now, man. I
Yeah.
mean, and we could dive into it and really get into a bunch of
If you
stuff.
really want to go for it, I'm gonna tell you something. There's still parties out here that. And,
Thank
and,
you,
and,
Griff.
and I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it.
Hey,
Yeah.
You
say
know.
it, please.
You know. There's parties out here that guys, even myself, will go out and do for $350. As long as I've been DJing, to me, it's like, why are you still DJing for $350? Because that was the only gig I got at that time. You know, and there are times where I may make $2,000. You know, and so it's like when I think about it, it's like that's a slap in the face.
Mm.
You know, with inflation and all this stuff, I was like, well, I made $350 20 years ago DJing. And it's like I'm still taking that today. And then people say, well, you know, if you're only valued based on what you're taking. And sometimes you just want to work, and that's the only thing that's there. I'd rather work and do it. And then the thing is, the other side of that is I go and do an event, and then people go, wow, you were really good. You were really good. And it's like, he says, you really, you know, people will tell you, I can tell you put, you know what you're doing. You know, I've had little kids tell me and say, wow, you're like a real DJ. You know, I walk in there and I'm walking in with all kind of stuff. And then you go and you play music, which is, you know, the main thing for me is the music. It's always about the music because DJs are music presenters, you know. And so, you know, there's events that I may do pro bono for free because I just want to do it. I'm on this vinyl thing right now, and I'm doing stuff for free just to be out there doing it. You know, just because I don't want to become a fossil and die and no one knows your name, because there's always going to be the people that's been around and done it for forever and you never hear their names.
And I have something that I want to say to that I think is beyond important. And what separates us and what hurts us all at the same time. And when I say us, I'm going to put that the older DJs. One of the things that hurt us is we don't realize that there's 3 points that we need to deal with. There's the business, there's the skill, and I'll just say the tech stuff, equipment. And a lot of us older DJs, we have number 2 and number 3. We don't have number 1, the business. And so we find ourselves in those awkward positions where people are like, wow, you really are good. And you have to ask them, you have to ask yourself, man, I wonder, is that wow, like, wow, man, I got this good DJ for that price.
Yeah.
You know, is that a part of that wow? But the part that hurts us is we have to learn to be better businessmen and women and I'm not going to say reinvent ourselves. We need to invent ourselves from that standpoint.
Yes.
Because we know all of this other stuff.
Yes.
But it's these other things that we don't know. And sometimes we just feel like, man, I ain't got to do all that. Well, you have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because you have these other so-called people that we complain about.
They know number 1.
Yeah. Oh, they great at number 1.
They number 1 and number 3, but they don't know number 2.
Yeah. I'm just saying, and they great at that.
Right.
And where they get caught up at is they're not able to deliver on their deliverable.
Right, exactly.
But I only saw you once. So I'll go to the next one. I ain't worried about the residual.
Right.
because I'm not
Right.
looking at the bigger picture. If
Yes.
I accept that picture,
Mhm.
then that means that I got to go on and put in the work
Yes.
and get better.
Yes.
And I don't see that to be necessary because I'm still getting paid.
Right. So again, with all of those things, and that's why I talk to DJs all the time. Like there's guys I just chop it up with, and we talk, and I've heard other podcasts with other DJs, and you know, on IG, and they're talking about getting paid this amount of money, and it's kind of like, you know, everyone's not going to spend that money. Now, do you say, do I leave the money on the table? Do I not? You know,
yeah,
the
it's
representation.
big.
So I've just learned, for me, I've aligned myself with DJ services. You know, I've aligned myself with other DJs, and just doing all these things to just help make the pot for me bigger.
Yeah.
I've learned how to just maneuver in that space.
Network.
You know, exactly. I mean, so if I'm working with this guy, and I'm working with that agency, and I'm working with this person, and I got my own thing going, and you know, I got the referral here, you know, all of those things coupled together help create a bigger, you know,
Yeah. I would
pot for me to work within.
I would say a great thing for you would be you need to go to one of those conferences. I think that would be a game changer for you, simply because you're going to be exposed to a different way of seeing things and a different way of doing things. And it's going to force you to operate different.
Or come back and look at yourself, because those guys have one, two, three, and probably a four, because they're business smart, they're DJs, they know all the tech and the lighting and all the extras and all that stuff. So
yeah, and then fourth
like
is
I
the
said,
bells and whistles.
So like I was telling you earlier, I went to my first one and it totally changed my business.
Yes, right.
Mike has gone.
Right.
He has been convicted, because you just see, okay, I'm over here operating in the maybe or the get by.
Right.
But if I change this and show people that I'm worthy, they can't treat me like that. No, I mean, not that you're being disrespected and not getting what you want, but it's just a different perspective.
But we are not getting what we're worthy of getting, according to your skill.
Yes.
You're a Tom Brady.
Yes.
But they're paying you
like
a yeah.
And the other thing is, people that don't know that you're a Tom Brady. See, that's my problem. In my mind, it's like,
secret.
Well, I've been DJing since 1976, and I think I'm pretty doggone good at it. Okay. And so in my mind, if I just do it, it should just happen.
No. Sir,
and see,
no.
and that's where I've
you have to have one.
Yes.
And that's where the one comes in.
That's where the one comes in.
Well,
and then that's where three comes in with the techie and all the other stuff and all that. And you got to self-promote. You can't, nobody's going to look for you.
And that's why I'm here on the show right now. So if you do want to book me, my number is 562.
Go ahead, 562
714 4846.
DJ Larry G. Call him up, y'all. Get it
AKA N.
Nasty.
Yeah. In and in.
We don't forget nothing.
I don't even have words for that one.
Not Eminem. In and in.
Nasty in, baby. Oh my God.
Coming straight at you. Nasty.
Yeah, we don't forget nothing.
As I want to be.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna live this one down, Mike. I can see that you and JP.
No, we good. We're gonna get off of you now. So, what is your opinion when it comes to controllers versus turntables?
So for me, I like it all.
Okay.
I'm the kind of person, you give me 2 8-tracks, I'm gonna work.
You're gonna rock.
That's just who I am. So I like turntables. I love the controller. I had 2 of those individual Access 9s. Before I had like the individual CDJs, I had 2 of those, and they spun. They said like live, like, you know, real vinyl, and I spun those for a while because I had DJs I worked with. And it's like, Larry, especially when they had the 2 tray joints, the 2 tray CDJs. No one knew what to do with those. At least we didn't, unless you went to Mexico and everything was like boom, 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 boom. You know, so for me, you know, I just learned how to work with whatever I had. Like, you know, we would have a CD and you just knew when to drop it in. You know, we didn't really mix a lot, but we dropped stuff in. But we knew music, and we knew what went together, and it worked. So I've always made stuff work. So turntables,
Dude, I
I
miss
love
those days.
controllers.
What?
You know,
I'm just saying you made stuff work. I remember I took a cassette and I chopped up a door by Prince. Had it studying. I'm sitting there playing with it. Yeah, and I did it all with a cassette.
We all did that,
Yes,
man.
we-
Got our slice it up.
Oh, dude, I used to make
cassette
100.
tapes.
I used to
Oh,
extend my cassette, with the Scotch tape, put them together. Oh,
Oh,
if they
man.
break, I repair.
so
See, but that's why you said it's not fair because it's so easy now, and you don't even try to get it.
so
But
when
we have to do our part.
right.
Yeah.
I remember hearing guys from Baltimore. And I was in DC, and then they were Frank was going to Baltimore to DJ on the radio on WEBB at the time with Chuck Max or whatever on the radio, and basically it was told to me that you don't really need that guy. Like, you know how it always comes on every level. It's like we don't,
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Temptation, let's get the lead singer. We don't need that guy. He saw the voice, the potential in Frank. We don't need that DJ. We got DJs. And I was listening to those guys, and they were track mixing. They were doing splicing and all that.
Mm.
And I said, I was mad. I was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so I took a cassette.
Mm.
I didn't have the equipment. I
Oh,
took a cassette, and I mixed the first cassette
Mm-hmm.
with stuff, scratched a little bit, mixed, scratched, did everything. Then I came back, played the tape, and then
Over top of that.
and on top of that, did it
Mhm.
again with this other thing, and
Mega
put it all
mix.
together. And I had my mega mix, and I still have I have those mixes on Mixcloud today.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
and they got love. Like that worked. Like
Man,
We
but
got
then we were creative.
You will
and we
find a
didn't
way.
just think about if we'd have had where would we be at now if we'd have had those what they had.
Oh,
What's
dude.
available now. You can do a controller with 4 tracks, and you got a 4-track already. You got your
That's
voice, you got your
amazing.
echoes, you got all kind of stuff. You don't. I mean, man,
Listen.
we cut tapes, we did reel to
Dude.
reels. I didn't spend reel to reels.
I was doing mashups before mashups became
Oh,
a thing. Okay,
yeah.
I was doing
Likewise.
mashups in the '90s and the late.
I was
80s
doing it
and
in the
90s.
late 80s.
And I
That was
still
one
have
of my
stuff
things.
on SoundCloud. You can go look at the date, and now you got stems. It's like, what do I need stems for? I just got a guy.
Well, I'm not- hey,
Well,
hey,
no,
I
no.
don't mean it that way.
Again, you need number 3.
No,
Yeah, I-
You need
listen,
number. You
Hey.
need number 3.
let me just back up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm a
Not
stem.
against that.
Yeah.
It's just I'm a little slow to get there. Like I loaded
I
the stems on
understand.
there, but I just haven't got to it yet because
Well, I'm gonna say this here,
I'm gonna
Larry.
tell you.
I'm
gonna
play with
say
it,
this here.
You're going to love it.
If you play with it, coming and the reason why I say this, especially coming from that era,
yes,
if you play with
I
that,
know.
your wife might divorce you.
Because you'll be in there
See,
just constantly creating stuff.
you know,
You're gonna lose your
I
mind.
got to the place right now, like when I'm doing mixes for Mixcloud, and I've learned Audacity, self-taught.
Oh yeah.
You know, and
You can play and do
I
those
can,
things.
man, I can
Oh, yeah.
just take it to another level. you
But
know.
just think about
just
doing
think
that
about
right
so-
there.
Right there.
So my thing is, if I get the stems, you're right.
Oh, I'm
You
telling
have to
you.
put me on an island.
Yeah, I'm
somewhere.
telling you, man.
I've been on that
It's
island.
incredible. I mean, and then DJing now, you don't have to cut the music all the way down. You can hit a button, take out the vocals. It's just so many things you can do with stems, just basic stuff.
And then this is what we was talking offline about when me and Jeff went to Boston and speaking with the guys from Rain. And when he got on the Rain 4, they have 2 banks for the steam.
I sent you that video
Yeah,
too.
they have an internal bank. So you can stem on top of a stem. I'm just saying it's the
Different-
type of stuff
Yeah.
we would beg for.
Right. Right.
We wanted a studio.
yes. And
I
now you-
wanted-
and now
when
it's
I heard
there.
Eric
have
B.
it.
I mean, when I hear Rakim talking about 48 tracks, I wanted 48 tracks.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Now you could probably
Yes.
have, let's say, four lines, all those different things.
You can
times
do so
3,
much.
so
And if
you
you-
could have 4 times. That's 12. That's
I'm
12
just
right
saying,
there.
And then if you do that and then throw it into an Audacity or
Yes.
Yeah.
or any one of those programs, man, it's endless.
So this is my year of coming out because I've
Okay,
been
okay.
gigging a lot. Praise God. I've been
Mhm.
gigging a lot. God has blessed me.
Congrats.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Big
No,
shout out.
No, he
you know,
working, man.
to,
I'm just
you know,
messing with you, Larry.
and so, and I appreciate it. And so with all the gigging, I'm not doing the production or learning
Yeah.
as much, but at the same time, because I'm also doing the 45 thing where I'm keeping it real, where I'm doing the 45s
And how's that working for you? How did you get there?
Hold on, can we?
Well, we're time. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Oh yeah,
yeah.
okay,
Oh,
my bad.
You the one gonna get whooped.
I'm coming there.
And you ain't finna get me attacked.
Okay, so
I look out my door. She's standing out there with the bat. You know what it is. You know she listens. Yes, 2P.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So
How did you get to the 45?
I've always just played vinyl. Period. I guess I guess during the COVID, it kind of got rediscovered. I watched some guys online and played 45s.
Man, it's addicting.
And so I found some people like the 45 Bandits, and I love this guy, man, and he's definitely a old school DJ like myself, but he is phenomenal. And again, I don't give a lot of DJs props because I'm always listening.
Ego.
But Ace, the crowd motivator.
Ace
Watching, man, when you listen to this
like
guy
that
or
name.
watch that guy spin 45s,
Old school.
he blows your mind. Like he's like so New York, and he's so you see my New York came out.
New York.
New York. He's so
The Bronx.
Yeah, he's so New York, and it's like
Boogie
it
down.
just motivated me. Like, wow, I got 45s, and now I didn't went from, I had quite a bit. I had, those Home Depot cases,
Yeah.
clear with the red top, the older ones they had, and I had about 2 bins full of those. But now I got a whole wall of nothing but 45s.
See, and I tell
What
them,
is that totaling up to?
you're not dragging
How many
me in.
45s
You don't
think
even
you
want to know.
It's it's probably about 100 in the box, and I got about 20 boxes going right now.
But the crazy thing about this 45 game is how expensive they are.
Again, I'm a digger.
Yeah.
I'm a crate digger.
Half
I
price
know-
bookstore.
And this is for you, DJ Pretty Tone, if you're listening out there. I'm not giving up all my resources. I gave you some. You're on your own. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
why that's my dog.
He's hiding the covers again.
Do we have any questions for Larry G while we're here? You got anything you want to break out, tell us about, or we didn't ask you about, or say? Because we try to let you say what you want to say. Now, don't say nothing when you don't want us to ask us about. You don't want us to ask you about them.
What you want? I'm not done.
No, okay.
Yeah. So while you thinking about that, in your opinion, what is something that we can do without in the industry? I know you didn't drop some on us, but what is something in your opinion we can do without in this lovely industry?
Something we can do without.
Yes.
Yes. If you can do a Thanos, what would you snap your fingers and disappear?
All these fly-by-night DJs.
You're gone.
Poof. See ya.
Yeah. Wow.
And why?
Because I think that it's people that think that because they can get the equipment or play some music or their friends, they think that it's just, oh, I can do that. People use the word DJ to me just so, just so
freely.
It's just too.
It doesn't have. They've taken the meaning away from it.
It's just like it has.
It doesn't mean what it used to.
You know how many lives those 2 letters have changed? You know how many people those 2 letters have brought together? How many marriages and relationships that those
you
2 letters
alone probably have done. We've all done.
It's so much have been created, and at the same time, there's a lot that have been destroyed by those fly-by-night.
Right. Yes. I mean, every time you meet someone, every time I talk to somebody and they go, what do you do? Because now, before I just always kept low key in the background. I never really mentioned somebody about DJ unless I hear the word and I say, oh, I'm a DJ. I didn't shout it out to anybody. I was always low key.
Number 3.
And I meet people and they say, when I tell them that now, and I say, oh, I'm a DJ, I'm a graphic designer, and I'm a DJ. And they go, oh, I used to DJ back in the day.
Really?
Everybody and their mama was a DJ back in the day. That's
what
true,
type?
but
what type of needles did you use?
I'm still DJing.
Yeah.
That's for me. That's
Ask
the
him a
difference.
trick question. What type of needles did
Well,
you use?
you
You want me to get technical on it?
So-
Start jamming them
Yeah.
against the wall. But people will tell me, I still got my 1200s in my attic. I still got
Want to
this,
sell them? That's what
I'm
you
gonna
said.
say this.
Yeah.
I'm
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna be the devil's advocate.
Uh-oh.
Yikes.
I
Brace
think
yourself.
I think in some situations, life may have gotten in the way for some people. Now you meet some people that says that, man, I was a DJ back in the day, and the moment they say that, and you start watching them as you're DJing, they'll start telling you a story with their movements. How, and some people, they'll be sitting there watching you the whole time because you've taken them and put them in a time warp and sent them all the way back.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I guarantee you some of them people went home and pulled them things out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you may
Absolutely.
have,
Yeah.
again, those two letters have brought so much together. You may
Yes.
have brought that love
True. Yeah.
back, because
Mhm.
of life had me considering that, man, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we really,
Mhm.
we don't know the story. It's like when we talk about people and their prices, you don't know the story. There may be a ill child at home that makes, well, man, I got to get this $350.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And without the proper education, to position yourself, because that's what the education allows us to do, to reposition ourselves.
Yeah. Because, man, just think about all the people who are really not good that are making a lot of money.
Yeah. They're my motivation.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying that, because they can have other aspects of it down to a science. They just might not be good DJs, but they're great business people.
Yeah.
We got a question
Right.
for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you had not become a DJ, what would you have been? What would have been your future job that you would have done? Thank you, Jay Freak,
Captain
aka
Captain Caveman.
He has his own dialect.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I can't even with you.
That's a good one.
That is.
What'd
a
you
good
go to
question.
Howard for?
I was in the fine arts, School of Fine Arts.
Okay, so
So
you would
I
have been in
majored in
graphics or something.
Yeah, well, I was actually they called it experimental studio at the time. So it's everything
Yeah.
under the arts umbrella. So ceramics, painting, life
Yeah.
drawing,
Graphic design
photography,
before it became.
sculpture. It
Yeah.
was everything.
Mhm.
And then at the time, the years that I was there, they had just got the first Mac computers.
Wow.
So they had a graphic design program. So I minored in graphic design, and I kept thinking starving artist. That's all I kept thinking. What was missing was the business of art
Yeah.
back then.
So now that you've had time to look back, what would you like to have done if you wouldn't have been?
So coming to that now, when I think about it, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. My dad owned dry cleaners.
Mhm.
He owned hardware stores. He owned
Wow.
laundries in the Bronx.
Dad was a serial.
Yeah, he was. I actually grew up thinking my dad was George Jefferson. The story was based on him, and that's no lie. I'm not even joking. That's for real.
Wow.
Because I said, man, they based
Moving
this-
on up, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But I always thought,
Wow.
I actually had my own advertising agency
Oh.
in Los Angeles, in Long Beach, California.
Congrats.
And, for many years, for 12 years,
Wow.
and I had state accounts. I was doing through social marketing
Why did you walk away?
because the funding in California had dried up for that. So I was doing a lot of ad campaigns for prenatal care for Black Latino
Wow.
communities. So I had my own niche at the time.
Mhm.
And so that's what I was building. I had an office. I worked with people. I was producing commercials, actual commercials, radio commercials, broadcast, and a lot of print. I was heavy in print. So it was
Wow.
billboards on the freeways you'd see, and
Wow.
brochures, and I was doing T-shirts for different events, campaigns. So that's really what I was thought. That's where I was going with it. I was going to build this great Saatchi and Saatchi. I was gonna be the black Saatchi and Saatchi.
So,
You know, big agency.
so I
you
know this
know.
is different. So were you going by Larry G then, or did you have another?
That
name
was
in
always
that
my
kind?
alter ego. Like
Okay.
the Larry G thing. I always with the DJ, and I DJ'd all through those years, a lot.
Wow.
And then before I came out here, 2 years before I came out here, I said, you know what? We're DJing a lot. I'm going to try to franchise it. So this was like 2004. So what I did was I got one of those services that came out online, those first services where you can buy leads. I was buying leads, and then I was calling people up and selling, like, trying to bid on those leads to get gigs. And I at some point I booked out 2 years, and so I bought a van, and I wrapped the van. I found a guy in van whatever out in California up in the valley. He wrapped my van, and I said I'm gonna put down a nice presentation because I had graphics, so I knew how to make stuff look good. My package was tight. And I says, I'm going to stand out amongst all the DJs out here because I knew how to do marketing. I knew graphics. I knew design. I knew all those things. And so my goal was, to take it and get it to a science where I was going to franchise LGN DJ service. So I had LGNDJ.com.
LGN.
Yeah.
Nasty N.
He keep that in there.
Yes,
don't
he
he?
do.
See, that's going to come back to haunt me. I knew it was going to come back to haunt me.
Keep
You
that
know.
in there. Larry G.
N.
So that
This
was
right here.
That's where I was going with it. I was taking it and I was working on franchising that DJ service.
Wow.
And because I was riding around through Hollywood.
So, but with the 2 years, so you booked out 2 years. So, did it work, or did you just get tired, or did they drive you crazy?
So, all this time I got a whole nother story where I got shot in 2001, and then I was looking for the Lord, and ended up changing my life, going through into ministry.
Whoa.
So
okay,
that's when, that took a right turn.
Is that when the end dropped?
Okay, we're gonna have him on for episode 2 after. We're gonna have to get
there is a part
the rest
2
of the story.
Yeah.
Dang.
Arrested Development.
That's what took the change. That's when I got to that place when I came out here, because now I'm full blown into ministry.
Yes.
That I'm like, I think I'm gonna.
Congrats on that.
So were you in a club, or where were you at? I mean, just a little bit. Where were you? What happened?
I knew it.
I'm sorry.
Well, I was in a club. I was playing
that's
in
all
clubs.
we need to know. That's
okay.
But all right, I'm not gonna ask no more. I'm good. We're gonna do episode 2. We might let you do it from the boom boom room, and we'll just.
Yes.
But man, wow. Hey, all right. How can they get in contact with you, Larry G?
You can make sure you follow me on Mixcloud, and that's just look for DJ Larry G, and that's GEE.
Okay.
Because there are actually Larry G's out there, but they're imitators. They're not the originator.
Yeah.
Okay. DJ. There you go. DJ Larry G. GEE.
Yeah. And
you can find me on Mixcloud. You can find DJLarryG.com. And I'm on Instagram, IG, DJ.LarryG, all one word, all lowercase on IG.
Yeah.
Facebook and all that good stuff.
Okay. So we have one more question for you.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is a gem that you would share with the audience? Not Jim Brodsky, but a gem.
A gem.
Yeah.
A gem.
Not a gem. Gem.
Music is the key for a DJ. So I would say find your niche, find your music, find your mode. If you're a DJ that plays universal, just try to make your music interesting, but not interesting to the point where just because you like it, but it's got to move people. So for me, it's always about what, and I've done it so long where I know what songs move people. So I'm not afraid to play something outside of the box, and I think times as DJs, we do that. We get locked into, well, I got to play this because that's what's going to move people. And it's okay, but make sure you drop those gems in when you mix and play your music, because I guarantee you, if it's really good, if you really feel moved by it, it's going to move people.
Okay. It's hard to break new music though. It's hard to be different sometimes when everybody does the same thing. But I like the fact because when I came to your 45 set, it was really cool. Heard some different stuff. So you almost drew me in, but I ain't bought one yet.
I was going to ask you about that.
No. I don't need. I don't need.
That's what I mean. I was going to bring you a T-shirt.
I need.
I was going to bring you a
All it
Weekend
takes is
45
one
t-shirt.
more show, and he'll be Jeff the 45 King. One more show.
I don't need no more hobbies. No.
One
It gets expensive.
more
I know.
show.
I don't.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I don't need to buy nothing else. No.
How about you, Mike?
hey, I don't know.
You
I
got
have
some
to,
Yeah.
45s? I know you got some 45s.
no, I don't. But the funny thing, well, not the funny thing, the first record that I bought was a 45.
Wow.
B-Box or the North.
Whew, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was my first
Okay.
record.
So if my,
All right.
I'm not going.
Let's go.
We're not going there, Mike. We got enough going
Hey,
on.
this ain't got nothing to do with no weed. Try to wrap me in.
well, maybe Mike will be in before me. So yeah, there you go. But I'm not going. I was trying not to.
Yeah.
You
But
would not
hey,
go.
We thank everybody for listening once
Yeah.
again. It was great. I'm so glad
Oh, man,
Larry
it was
reached
a
out to
blessing.
us and told us he
Yeah.
wanted to come on the show.
Yeah, it was a
It's
blessing.
nothing like having people in the studio because when you get in that chair, it does get a little warm because we're gonna come at you. We're not gonna let you sit here and lie. We're gonna ask you the real questions
Oh, yeah.
and yeah.
Thank you, guys.
But you're an OG, man. So
Oh yeah, and it's always a blessing to meet those that love what you do the way that you love it, and sometimes more.
Yeah.
Because I can appreciate.
I think Larry
the
loves it a little
history.
bit more than we do.
Well, I can appreciate the history. It's something about
I
being
love it.
somewhere where something originated.
Yeah.
And-
Oh yeah. Oh.
and just
yeah.
I'm just saying, just think about it. Like in Texas, you go outside, you see everybody playing football.
yeah.
You go
Right.
there around that time, you see all these DJs and MCs and dancers.
Right.
I'm talking about B-boys.
Yes.
You got the whole
B-
man. I would have
B or
loved to
D?
be in there.
B or D.
B-boys, not do boys. No, ain't no doing. Yeah, that's only up south. Yeah, south. Down south. They doing.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to get on out of here before one of us get in trouble.
All right, do boy, Jeff.
Once again, thank y'all for tuning in. And
Yeah.
2 DJs and 1 mic. Larry G,
All
my
right.
man
Thank
DJ
you.
Mike. Is that a
Yes.
turntable?
Yeah.
And your boy DJ JP, y'all. Thank you. God bless. Have a great rest of your week. Hey, don't forget Thursday morning we're gonna drop some dance, talk about some stuff. I got something to talk
Rewind.
about.
Yeah,
boy.
oh yeah, we
Weekend.
have.
boy,
Oh man,
boy.
you have to
I
catch
listened
us.
to
that
a
morning.
tragedy.
You need to.
Oh, it was tragic.
You need to.
It was tragic.
He-
You gotta listen.
I'm still
he-
hurting. I
yeah.
got black eyes from that party.
Oh yeah. Oh, you ain't Calvin. They
Oh,
look.
man,
They
we-
were looking like a set of raccoons.
Yeah.
Oh, oh.
It's bad.
Especially when you put years on that. So
Yeah.
you got years
Years of doing
of
that.
killing.
People at parties.
It wasn't bad meaning bad.
It was bad meaning bad.
It was bad meaning
Meaning
bad,
bad.
not bad meaning good.
Yeah, but-
It was bad meaning bad.
Real
it was,
bad.
It was horrid.
Real bad. I mean, it was.
All right, but yeah, y'all
gotta
tune
tune
in.
in.
Yeah,
Y'all tune in.
Thursday morning. We
Jeff
back.
is gonna bless us with that, and I have pictures.
Wow.
Take us out of here, man. Take us out.